What is that bright light in the sky? Haven't seen that for, well, it seems like ages. Today is an exceedingly busy day and it's got some serious challenges. And well, I've been planning to do quite a lot today, but unfortunately, something has got in the way. Yes, it's another delivery of the infamous horse manure. And it's really stacking up on the plot. And well, I have to consider how much of this I can use. But on the other hand, I am completely loathed to reject any, because that will just put a bit of doubt in the mind of the person who's kind enough to provide it. So it is a bit of a balancing act. At the moment, I'm just sort of surveying the territory and trying to understand quite what I can accommodate. And to be fair, I can pile it up a bit higher and I can come forward. And of course I haven't started putting it into the various compost pens yet, which will help a great deal. I'm noticing as I'm looking at it that there's a little spout of steam coming up just here. Let's have a look. And the heat in here is amazing. I'll put the thermometer in there and you can see what's going on. But I think for today I'm just going to add to this. I'm not going to film it because you've seen it so many times. And well, once that's done, I can get onto the things that were really requiring my attention today. Right, that's the thermometer in and it's immediately gone to 52 degrees centigrade. So yeah, that's really doing well. Midway through the green zone into the dark green, which means ideal for the destruction of weed seed. Right, okay, well, on with compost maneuvers. And there it was, gone. I reckon that took me about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I didn't really check the time, but it's a good old workout. And as I've got fitter, it's become easier. So I had a bit of a brainwave whilst I was preparing to move all that compost or manure. And I thought, well, why add to the pile and then top up all the compost heaps? So why not just put this load into the top of them all? And that's what I've done. So topped off on the first one, topped off on the second one, and even topped off on the third one. And it was a bit of a job to get up onto that one, but I used the existing heap with a bit of a plank to get my wheelbarrow up each time. And well, you can see what's been achieved. So hopefully now all I need to do is cover that and get on with the other things that I've planned today. And this is already quite warm, nearly in the green zones, about 36 degrees centigrade. Right, let's get them covered up. Well, the sun has gone in, but it makes it prime time for digging, just to keep yourself a bit warm. So I'm going to try and do another couple of strips here. And I really am getting towards the end. Good times. Well, a lot goes through your mind when you're digging, and I was casting my eyes over my gooseberry plants and shocked to see what I was seeing. Let me show you. Now I know the rhubarb starts to come up at this time of year, and I know that the berries such as black currants and red currants do start to get some really strong budding going early. But I didn't expect to see these green leaves emerging on the gooseberries. It just adds a little bit of pressure because I do need to cover these before they get damaged by sawfly again this year. There's rubbish in here to get out. But, oh wow, the bed's too pressing at the moment, so I need a breather. I'm going to go off and do something else, but that's a good old chunk underway. Well, we're approaching sowing time, and soon after that comes planting. So I just need to make sure these beds are as advanced as I need them to be. And this particular bed has still got some celeriac in, which I put in very late, and I always felt was never going to get to maturity. So it's got to come out. And sure enough, if you look at the size of these, that one's not so bad, but they really are tiny. And by the time you've taken the roots off and the leaves, there really isn't anything left to eat. So I don't really want them to carry on taking goodness out of the soil. I'm going to take the best couple, I think, and see if I can, well, salvage anything. This is about the best one that I've had, so not too bad. This one looks small, don't want to come out. There we go. Yep, too small. And this one, and I will put these in with the chickens. I don't know whether they'll eat the leaves, but got two chances, we'll see. So those of you that watch my channel regularly will know that I covered this up, this half of the bed, with compost, homemade from all that horse manure from last year. And I put an extra amount in because I knew that I was going to end up dragging it over to the other side. So I'll move these few perhaps salvageable root crops and see if we can get the rest of this compost over the top. There's next to no weeding to do in here because I have weeded once or twice around those celeriac, but it's worth just pulling out anything that has started to grow with a slightly warmer weather. Right, ready to pull that across now. And whilst it's settled and it looks like a fairly solid mound, it will pull across very easily. There we go. And there's a little bit of weed growth in the top of this, and many of you have said, will the heat in the compost heaps be sufficient to kill the weeds? And the answer, I guess, is not completely in some cases, and it just depends what temperature that particular heap got to. And in this case, where I took this from, which I think was down the bottom when I had the compost heaps in the other area, I think it probably didn't get to maximum heat, but it's okay. The flush of weed is very small, and a quick hoeing or a quick raking like this and it's gone, no problem at all. Right, and that's put about, I don't know, 5 centimeters across the top of what was there before. There's still a bit more here that can be moved over, and then this bed will be ready and it'll settle in the next few weeks whilst I'm growing things in the polytunnel. It'll be just perfect, ready for planting. Right, get the net back on. Well, there really aren't too many crops left in the ground from last year, but this is one of the ones that is. And this broccoli is used fully, and what's left goes to the chickens to make good use of it. That'll leave one more treat for them. Right, let's go. Right, well, there's one more left, and when I popped over there and gave that to the silky hens, it was clear that the large hens are not that fussed on celeriac, so I'll give them this one and that'll be the bed clear. Right, let's see if they enjoy this a little bit more. Not fussed on that then, girls, eh? Let's see if this will do better. Right, have a go at that. Oh yes, that's much higher in the popularity stakes. And the silkies are having a good time as well. Treats. Right, so let's get this bed sorted out. I've got a bit of mole heap here, so I'm just going to add that onto what is a bit of a store of compost that I put here in readiness. There we go. And then I am going to leave this structure in because it's quite stable and very useful when I'm planting broad beans. And I think I'm going to go broad beans again in this plot, 2 years on the trot, because of course you can do that with no dig. And I'll take these middle poles out, and that'll enable me to drag this compost across. Right, let's go. Well, there's definitely not as much compost here for this bed as I would have liked, because I was getting to the point where it was running out. But that isn't going to be too much of a problem. Just get rid of that weed. There's one or two small weeds in here, but most of it's already been taken out. Right, let's drag this across. And this is, I don't know, about its 4th year, I would guess, for being no dig. So this mound on this bed has been building up year on year, and it's very well developed. So it's not going to need an awful lot of new spread across the surface. Right, I'll carry on. Woohoo! We are winning. So, just that bit to do. And I think it's going to be another day because I don't have to take it out of here. But I've got over that huge hump. And that was really useful. There was quite a bit of clay I'd still left in, but that's come out now. So, yeah, not too far to go. Next on my agenda for today, well, I found a couple of bits of wood when I was washing down the polytunnel, and I'm going to use them down here to help overcome some of these raised bed issues I've got with rotten pieces of wood. So I'll show you what I've got. Right, well, this is what I've got, and this was a pine table, and it's made out of 4 slats. And I just got to weigh up how I'm going to use it. Now, this as pine is not going to last for a huge length of time, but it will help me overcome this problem. Right, if I put one there, it's short. If I put one there, it's fine. So I think what I'm going to do is use these two, one for that edge of that bed and one for this edge of this bed, because one of the biggest challenges is stopping the grass from growing into the bed. And if you can get a good barrier down in between it, then that removes that problem. And I can strim then right up to the side of it. Doesn't matter if the cord hits the wood as I strim. So I need to dig down there, get myself a little bit of a ditch, and then find out the best way to approach this. And this bed's quite high, so I don't think I'm going to have to go down very far, but I am going to have to take out these fellas, which are absolutely over there, used by life. Okay. Well, that's not a bad temporary measure, and I'll have to extend my brick path a little more, but I found quite a few bricks when I was digging the raspberry bed, so I don't anticipate a problem there. I'm just going to take this soil away from the edge of the grass so that I don't promote any growth in it. And then just even this bed out, and that'll do it for a short while anyway. It's certainly quite sturdy. Now I've put a brick base below it. Right, let's shift some of this. Okay, there we go. Well, that'll do me for today, folks. It's been a tough one again. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then why not like and subscribe? And if you want my uploads, every Wednesday and every Sunday at 8 p.m. Good times.